This is Mrs. Hogarth. We're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about line. Line is one of the elements of art. We're going to look at a lot of the different elements of art, but right now I want to focus on line. I want you to be able to see line in everyday life. Now, there really aren't lines in nature. A line is the edge of something. The edge of something. So it's where one thing starts and something else ends. That's the edge of something. There are different kinds of lines. Let's talk about some lines. Obviously, first thing we think of long lines or horizontal lines. They're lines that are laying down. Okay? You also have vertical lines. Standing up, right? And then we have diagonal lines. So a lot of different kinds of lines. That's just 3. There's hundreds of other ones. So if I take a straight line, all these are straight, right? We have curved lines. We have waves. You can also take a curve and make it a wave by repeating it. We have short lines, right? And obviously long lines. This is repeating lines. When I repeat a bunch of lines really close together, I make a darker value or a lighter value as they get further apart. We'll talk about that later. But when you crisscross these lines, it's kind of cool. That's called cross-hatching. Again, that's something else we'll talk about a little later. You can also have very fat lines, and you can have very thin lines. I cheated a little bit because I changed my pen, but you can do it without cheating. I can very lightly just touch it. And this is kind of cool because when I take my marker and turn it on its side and then turn it on its tip, look at that. I have a different kind of line. Now right there is kind of cool because it's broken. So let me do that a little bigger. When I do that and I skip a spot, that's called a broken line. You can also do a dash. Okay, so a broken line is kind of something obviously that's broken or it stops and starts again, but our brain finishes that. That's called implied. We'll look at an implied line in a piece of art, meaning it's implied that it's there, but it's not really there. Our brain finishes it. Another word, an art word for that is closure. I like that word a little better because our brain closes it. It creates closure or it closes it up for us. So we have a lot of different kinds of lines. Sometimes when you have diagonal lines repeating in a sense, and we'll look at it again later, it can create a sense of action. And so what you think of when you look at a horizontal line, and I already said that, somebody laying down or resting, somebody standing up or is very stable, or somebody moving. So think about it, when you stand, you're standing straight and you're very stable. But as soon as you start to move, all kinds of diagonal things start to happen in your body. So a lot of different kinds of lines. We're gonna go on, and I want you to make sure all of this is in your sketchbook. We're going to practice some of these lines, and we're going to look at some of these lines being used in a piece of art. So that's the idea, for you to use it and for you to see it and to practice these lines. So work on some lines in your sketchbook, and then we're going to take all of this and put it together in a piece of art later.